Welcome. In this video, I'm going to show how to define a variable in the section data and also how to define and initialize the variable in the section .bss. First, let's look at the how to define a variable in the data section. In this section, you are going to give a variable name, and also you can define what is the data size. For example, here dB means define byte, which is 8 bits. If you use the DW, that is means define a word. Let's define a word which is 2 byte, 16 bit. Most popular, you are going to define D, that is double word, as 4 byte, 32 bits. Also, you can define a Q that is 64 bits and define a T, DT is a 10 bytes, 80 bits. So it's a different size. Most popular is define a byte, define a double word. This is the example. The num is a variable name, and then define the size of this variable. DD is define a double word that is 32 bits. So we are going to define a variable num that is 32 bits, and we give the initial value is a 5. Okay, in the section .bss, this is uninitialized the variable. We are going to give a variable name, and then use reserve byte. RES, that is means reserve. We are going to reserve a byte, that is the size of the variable. Since we are not going to initialize data, the 3 means we are going to define a variable and reserve 3 memory address for this variable. So we are going to reserve a 3 byte memory address. We can later on initialize this variable in the code. Here is an example. This is the section of the code. Global main, and main is a label. So we initial this one is going to set it up for the debugging purpose. And then first we are going to set EAX, this is 32-bit register, give a value 1, and then we are going to assign EBX, this register, to assign memory address which hold the value give to EBX. So if you put a square bracket, that means we are going to take the value from this memory address. In that memory has a value. We're going to use that value to assign to the register. Here the same thing. We are going to assign number 2 to the low byte of the register B register. This one going to assign the 3 to the high byte in the B register. Okay, we can run this program to look at what exactly happened. So after we compile, we are going to use debugger. So we are going to move into the next step. At this one, we are going to cite 1 to the EAX. The current EAX is still 1, so when we are moving this one here, it's nothing changed. So that means 1 was assigned to the EAX register. And here we are going to cite the variable num, which is the memory saved value assigned to EBX. So the num is actually 5, and this num is located in the memory address. That is, we are going to find that memory address to read the number and to give to the EBX. So the current EBX is this big number. So we are going to step into it, EBX, and then the number 5. This is the num variable that is define a double word is 32-bit. 32-bit memory address has a number 5. So when we read the value from this memory address gave to the EBX, so that is a 5. Then we step into another again. We are going to assign 2 to the low byte of the B register. So you see here B register is going to change to 2 since the 2 was right into the low bit. And then the same register in this 16 register, low byte, lower 8-bit is 2 and the higher 8-bit going to 3. So we step into this 3. You see here, decimal value going to 770 is actually from the hex you will see here has 2 and then the higher byte has 3. Okay, so lower byte, higher byte add together is 16-bit. Register is actually called BX. Okay, since the lower byte has number 2, we are going to have this registered value that hold this number 2 gave back to the variable. So we are going to step into this variable and then let's see what is the variable right now. You see this is the 2 since the lower byte has 2 assigned. And then we are going to, since we define 3 byte, reserve 3 byte, we are going to refer to this variable var at 1. That means the memory address to move 1 further. So has a different memory address. Put these 2 again into there. So we are going to put it here. At this moment, we cannot really see where this memory, but we are going to find the memory address later on. And then we move to the third memory address, gave these 2 back into there also. So that is what we did. And then you see current, we are trying to read this variable memory address, gave this memory address to the EDX. So in that way, we are going to see what going to be the EDX. So EDX current is 182. So let's get this memory address to the EDX to look at what happens. EDX, you will see the memory address is here. The decimal value is 42, 14, 81, 6. And then we are going to move the second memory address. And so var plus 1 gave to ECX. So let's say ECX current is this one, 42,00992. And then we are going to move this var second memory address into ECX. You see right now ECX is 82.14.81.7. You see here this is a 6. So this memory address plus 1 is going to 7. So that is what we can understand. The variable is actually defined memory address. So this initialized variable var will reserve a byte, and then we are going to reserve 3 bytes for this variable. And then so we can move var plus 1, var plus 2. That is, we have different memory address. In there, we can hold different value. Okay, that is what we showed, how to define and initialize the variable. Okay, thank you very much. See you next time.